Okay, hello Nerfers, welcome back. Now, since the last time I done a lot of work, got all that fixed up, all the parts in place, the plastic pipe there hiding most of that gap. These screws will be sanded down and either strips of plastic glued over or filled in, make them disappear. The rear end, I got the long shot butt on, did a lot of cutting, took an awful lot of that out, but the actual internal still fit in there. And what I'll do is, once I've got it open, I'll fiberglass the inside along that gap. Now, I found some old fiberglass and I did a test, and while the fiberglass seems to be pretty stiff and take to the fiber, it didn't stick to the Nerf plastic. So I'm hoping it's just a case of either I need to rough up the surface a bit, or it's just old fiberglass. It is very old fiberglass resin and stuff, but it seemed to react to how it's supposed to. So yeah, once that's fiberglassed, I will then come back with the epoxy putty and do a nice neat join on the outside, make it look pretty. Now the front, I've managed to fix this on. I just cut this from the Paragon, cut it till it fit down. It's just a nice fit over the front of this trigger guard. Couple little screws in place, and at the top it's got this protrusion with a hole in it that just, when I cut it right and trimmed a lot of the stuff at the top, it perfectly fit where that bolt goes through. So it's a really nice strong fit. And I've got the hand grip here, which I can mount in any position. It feels very natural positioning, so that'll be great. Right, so that's that much. So the next step is to pull it apart, cut down all the screws that stick out too far, do the fiberglassing inside, and also I still want to put this on, so I'd rather not mount it over that and use a nice detailed piece that won't be seen. I'll cut a piece of pipe in there that'll fit in, and we have a nice tight fit. So they're sort of the next step. So once I've done that, and I'll do some filming of showing how to do the fiberglass and stuff, we can move on and put it back together, and we should be virtually ready to paint. So I'm pretty happy. Alright, talk to you again soon. Bye. Okay guys, one last thing I just realised. I've only got a few screws holding each piece together, so when I pull it apart I should get two sides. However, I've only got one screw right there going into the back end of this yellow piece, and that will tend to tip. So what I'm going to do is just get a scrap piece of Nerf and mount it somewhere, a couple of temporary screws, because they're holes I can always fill later, just so we don't get any, probably there, just so I don't get any movement of this piece as opposed to this piece when I'm doing the fiberglassing. So when the two pieces come back together, they should match perfectly. I fully intend to do the fiberglassing very quickly and put them back together and screw at least the back end together so they'll stay in place. Okay, let's move on. Okay guys, we're back, and you'll notice I'm wearing latex gloves. I've got my fiberglass resin, my catalyst, cup, mixing stick, and you probably can't see it, my digital scales, because it's the easiest way to mix this stuff. I know the cup weighs 5, so I'll just re-zero it, and what I'm going to do is pour in 25 grams of the resin, because that's what I used yesterday. It was plenty. It's just running up to 25 now. 15, 18, 19, 20, 22, alright, 22, 23, that'll do. This stuff doesn't have to be that accurate. Now what I've done is, as you can see in the background, I've pulled the gun apart, and the areas where I'm going to put the fiberglass, I've cut away joints. So I hope you can see that, yes, joints, and rough the surface, so there's going to be a bit there, and a bit on the top up here. Doesn't work here, I'm going to have to do something else with that because the battery box is in the way, but not a great hassle. And as soon as I put the fiberglass on, I'm going to put the two halves together and screw back the back end so it dries in the shape I want it to dry, so there'll be no tension if it's dried sort of crooked. So I've got all my screws ready, I've got my fiberglass ready. I've got a couple of different types here out of this kit, so I'm not sure which works, so I'm going to use them both. And from what I understand, the way you do it, you get a brush that you're not worried about losing. Mix up your catalyst, paint some on, dip a piece of material in the resin and push it down as hard as you can get. So I'm going to work really quickly. Probably no point in you showing it, so I'll turn off the camera and I'll get back to you when I'm done. Bye. Okay guys, just a quick video. Things I've learned: always have enough fiberglass cut, because it's damn hard to cut when you've got these sticky gluey gloves on. So that's all pushed in there, as you can see, and pushing it down both sides at the same time with the brush and the pop stick, get the air out of it. And I've forgotten that bit there. I'm just going to have to fill that later. I'm not going to worry about it. And now I'm going to just get these bloody things off because they're sweaty, and screw this side together really quickly. Fit together properly all the way down. There we go. Now just quickly put a few of the screws in this back end just to hold it in place. And that's all I'm going to need for now. Oh yes, one at the bottom there, definitely. Just realised I've still got this open magazine at the bottom here. I could put something in, but not going to worry about that. So that's all held in place, and when that's dried, it should stay in place. There's a little piece of bracing I put in to keep these pieces stable, and another one on the other side. I'll take them off once the resin's dry, which is about half an hour, and hopefully this stuff will work. I think with the resin I've got, if it doesn't, I'll just get some fresh stuff and put another coating on it, but with that and the putty on the outside, it should be fine. So that's it for now. That's a separate piece when it's pulled apart, and that's about it really, mate. Guys, I've also, while I had it open, I cleaned up the inside so the internals fit in, so that's good. In the process, I managed to lose one of the switches that go in here somewhere. Yeah, in there. I think it's the actual old magazine catch release, so it's not a great problem, but it'd be nice to have it to fill the hole. But anyway, so next time. See you later. Bye bye.